What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. I am Al the Geek Man. This is a bi-weekly show where myself and Captain Xavier, we go on and we talk about everything hobby related. But then again, we're two old guys too, so we just might go off on a tangent and complain about everything that we can complain about, and it doesn't matter just because we're old guys and we lean into it. If you haven't already, worldfoamalliance.net? Yes. No, worldfoamalliance.org. What's the website? Anyways, go register over there. See, the old guy, man. And this isn't even left over from the turkey, that the tryptophan, whatever. My brain is broken.
We don't know what we're doing anymore.
I don't know what we're doing anymore, but we're having fun, man. So yeah, Captain Xavier, dude, what's shaking, man? How are you, brother?
I'm good. Had a very relaxing week for Thanksgiving. Didn't travel anywhere. Didn't have any family come to visit, so it was me and one of my sisters eating seafood. We had crab, we had shrimp, we had some venison that she shot, and we had some ham. It was fat. Turkey. We did not do turkey. We might for Christmas.
Oh, just to be different. There you go.
Yeah.
Not bad, man. Not bad. Well, just to give everyone an update.
It got cold here real quick all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, how cold is it there?
Too cold to be out in my shop. I need to wheel out the space heater and put down the thermal blankets, and then I might be able to work out there. But I don't have any ongoing projects because for the first time ever, I got my end of the year project done way in advance.
No way.
Y'all can speculate in the comments what you think my end of the year. Okay, people apparently want to know if there were call-ins. Will we have call-ins today? I don't think so.
No, because we need one of the. Yeah.
No, the man behind the curtain that has the access to the button is not here, so there will be no call-ins. You will have to do it through comments. But the first thing I want to see in the comments, what do you think my end of the year project is going to be this year? And what do you think I should do next year?
Ooh, look at that. Or you're just being cryptic and you're actually not doing it, but you're making people guess and look forward to it, then only not have it.
Give me ideas. No.
I'm kidding.
That I want to build that are for end of the year projects, and I might actually get to them early. Ooh, a mega minigun would be amazing. If the guy who built the Moab could build it in mega, that would be nuts.
My God, that would be, man.
You can buy a Moab now if you want one. A mere $5,000, and you could have a Moab.
Wasn't it? Didn't he have it on sale for like $3,400 at one point?
I thought it was $700, and he had it on sale, or $7,000, and he had it on sale for $500. Or $5,000. I don't know.
It could be, dude. Proton Pack Maverick.
That's another that is on my list, to just shove basically convert a Mayfly into Proton Pack. That wouldn't be too hard.
The other one, and I think I told you about this, which would be fun because it's compact and there should be enough space in it. Well, at least the barrel would be. The Jupiter. The Jupiter is the bolt action sniper for the rifle, right?
Yeah.
That one I think would look very cool. Proton Pack, very compact, but it's a good looking blaster.
Direct plunger Maverick. Elite minigun.
That wouldn't be too bad. All right. Well, people are guessing.
Yeah.
We should give people some updates of what's going on. First and foremost, if y'all haven't noticed, Foamsgiving has been
what's
shelved.
The news?
We should give them the news. Foamsgiving has been shelved. Why? Because we don't want to do it anymore. Are you nuts? We love doing it and enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun. A couple of things going on. One, to organize Foamsgiving, which really helped last year, was our man behind the curtain, one of our wonderful men behind the curtain. He had much more time to be the driving force and organizer. Unfortunately, this year, he did not have the time for it. He's also a dad with 2 young children, so yeah, that's going to keep him kind of busy. So then with myself, Andrew, Dart, Sweep, and Cap trying to fill in, We could, but all of us find ourselves much busier than we usually are this time of year, which has resulted in us making the executive decision not to do it. Because the last thing we want to do is put forth a half-assed product. That would not be fair to any of
Yeah.
you. Never mind you half-ass it and then expect people to give you money and like donations. No, that's dirty and that's not how we do it. So it has been postponed where probably some point in the new year we will do something like that. However, you can speculate all you want. If you want to give ideas, fair enough. We will do it because we do like doing it, but it's picking the time of year when we're in a better place for it. Also, the one thing that you may have noticed is that what we're planning for the new year is actually an overhaul on the website. The website where it is right now has stalled, and that's also been part of what we've been trying to focus on, is trying to get that up and running to where it's supposed to be. The World Foam Alliance, fear not, it is not dead. We are all still here, and we are still, that's why we're still doing a live show and actually planning out for next year. Part of it, though, we all realize is that the reason we did it is having that central website to do everything we wanted to do. So we're trying to push also with the time that we do have, focus on getting that up to where it's supposed to be, what we tell you it's going to be, and where we want it to be. So that is the hope. So also, this episode actually is the last one for the year. So we will be talking about the end of year stuff. Plus, it's getting close to Christmas. Everything's getting busy. And so this one will be the last one for this year. However, we will be back first week in January. And I think, again, it's me and you up again, Cap, where I think we're going to be the first ones. And then also at that point, I know it's going to be us. How did Andrew get out of this? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm starting to have my doubts about that guy.
I know. What's up with that? But since we're going to be off, actually, the main brain collective of the World Foam Alliance actually will be trying to lay out, be more organized in terms of what we're doing next year. So when we actually launch in January, the first episode, we'll have a pretty good outline in terms of where we're at, what we're going to do, and what we have planned. And again, we do have ideas. Also, on that note as well, to help drive our social media presence, we are also happy to announce that we have brought on another member of the World Foam Alliance. Faddle, if you recall, and if you've been following Andrew's Foam Zone, he was on a few weeks ago. He's actually agreed to come on and actually will be help driving our social media content, which is great. It also helps with us because, again, we all love doing it. We're all, well, yeah, I'm going to go. We are talented people, but we can't do everything. So help is good. And so there'll be plans for that, which will also be great. Now, with that said, so again, World Foam Alliance is not going anywhere. We're here. It's we love doing this. And again, we don't make any money on this. It's not we're doing it because we're making any money. It's because the dream is real. What we want to do will happen. And yeah, trust me, we will make it happen. But we also want to keep abreast and never actually make it feel like we're leading you on or deceiving you. It's just the advantages of trying to, the disadvantages when you don't have a huge budget, but you need to get stuff done. Now, the advantage is all of us that are part of this, none of us have a lot of money, yet we get stuff done. We just need a little bit of patience and time. But in the meantime, for your patience and time, we will try to keep you entertained and informed and give you reasons to make fun of whatever. We're going to keep you informed and entertained. On the same note, in other news, there have been major announcements. So Maryland Mayhem has been officially decided. For those that have or have not seen it, that is the weekend of May 9th, 10th, whatever Mother's Day is. Yes, I know it's Mother's Day. Part of the wrench this year has been when Easter falls, where I'm sure next year when Easter falls at a different weekend, it'll probably be back in April. However, in the meantime, this year will be in May. What does that mean? Less likely for rain. It will be warm. So, yeah, pack shorts because it's probably going to be warm that time of year. But anyways, Maryland Mayhem, that also gives you an extra what? We're now in December, 5 months to plan for it to come down for it. Also, I saw that Survival Fest has been announced. Survival Fest has been announced, and I think that is the last weekend in. No, I think it's the last weekend in May, first weekend in June. Whenever that is, feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm good with that. We all know. Look at the beard, man. I'm getting old. I forget stuff. And then also the other announcement is that the winter one that happens up in New York, Sub-Zero has announced they're actually going to be happening March 1st weekend. So again, Sub-Zero, March 1st, it's in upstate New York. I would have loved to have gone. However, last year it fell on my wedding anniversary. And if I went, my wife, as understanding as she is, I think she would have had a problem with it. This year it is not. So I'm going to see if I can make it up for that one. I think that covers announcements. Cap, am I missing anything?
I wasn't aware of half of that. So, I mean, I'm not the person to ask.
This is how
What do we got
informative we
going on
are.
in the comments? Yeah.
That's funny. I'm not sure. But again, at any point, even though we've already said it, if you have any suggestions or ideas or guesses at what Captain Xavier has made for his end of the year project, feel free to let us know. That'd be good.
Yep. Or what things you would like to see. Also, what are you hoping to get for Christmas in the Nerf world? What blasters or equipment are you hoping will show up? There's a lot
Actually, that's a good
of
question.
yeah,
What
they've
about
got the
you, Cap?
videos on like what are the best blasters this year. There were some good ones this year. X-Shot's Insanity line was a pretty epic line of blasters. I
Although, didn't
can't
that
think of
technically come out
anything
last
that
year?
Hasbro released. What?
Didn't that technically come out last year, though? End of year last year?
Did it? I don't know.
Still, it's a cool line.
Yeah, I can't keep track of what came out what year anymore. Um,
I do agree. I think Hasbro was kind of a
Bloods
dud
of
this year.
Cornfire. What?
I do think that this year was kind of a dud for Hasbro, but then again, it has been for a few years.
Yeah. They did launch, didn't their new Pro line, did that come out this year?
That did come out this year, yes, because it was the End Strike, the End Strike and the Pro
The
line.
Sender and the Torrent, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be more to come with that. They're years behind everyone else when it comes to Pro Blasters, but they're making an effort, and I'd love to see them actually come out with some good stuff. The Strife X was good. The Torrent and the Sender weren't bad. They just weren't great. But they were also going for cheap enough to sell on store shelves, which, in order to get that price point down, you're going to have to cut some corners. And they went with, kind of performance over quality of the blaster itself. Like X-Shot was able to make a really powerful blaster for really cheap, but it feels like it's going to shatter when you fire it. So, plus their plunger tubes would break. Let's see.
They were also just on sale. Target had them for $17.
The Pro line?
No, the
the
X-Shot long shot.
Yeah.
$17, and Rage Fires were only $22.
Uh,
And that's I think that's a great example of X-Shot knew that their product is functional, but on the shaky side, yet they still delivered. And it was that we accepted that like trade-off. That's especially $17, I'm like $34, and you're getting 150, 170 FPS, shoots half darts and full darts, and it looks cool. And $34, you know what? I will accept this as a fair trade, and I know what I'm getting.
yeah, and then for another $30 worth of parts, you can get up to 260, and you're good. I haven't heard anybody saying that their long shots broke that I can think of. If I'm wrong, go ahead and mention in the comments. What else we got in the comments? A Proton Pack Perceptor. I would love to have either a shoulder-mounted or a head-mounted Proton Pack blaster. That would be really loud having it right next to your ear like that. But
Yeah.
Dr. Pugh actually had one that he mounted on the top of his head that was capable of firing either forward or backward.
You know what?
Because
if we
he's
got
a
you,
loon.
if we
And his
if you
Proton
started
Pack was, the bear with the pretzels in it.
Yes,
You familiar with that?
that's right.
Yeah, that was his Proton Pack tank sitting on a toy toilet.
Like you do. But you know what? If you're gonna do a head-mounted one, because of the volume, if you start out with like noise-canceling headphones, like the ones at a shooting range, you start off with those, and then build your helmet around that. Therefore, you can still hear stuff, but at the same time not go deaf by it. And that should be a strong enough platform to at least, with foam or something, build some kind of like headpiece that you could attach it to.
You could probably just mount the proton pack to the side of the headphones. Or the Jupiter. I mean, if you're just going with the
Yep.
Jupiter or something similar to the Mount Olympus, where it's literally just a flywheel cage,
Yep.
You could get away with remarkably little.
Yep. And that'd be comfortable.
Maybe that's what I'll design. Design a really, really minimized housing for a flywheel cage. Because now I have my own flywheel cage with hose adapter and pusher motor adapter or jack. So thanks to what's his name?
Oh, was it Buff Daddy?
Buff Daddy. Yes, Buff Daddy sent me this cage, which is just a a cage with the right spacing for proton pack for rival, and then I added the hose adapter and the pusher motor adapter. If I could make just a minimalist housing for this,
Yep.
and then mount that to something, that would work. Shoulder mounted would also be cool, especially if you like had a link to a helmet that would make it head track. The easy way of doing head tracking is just if your head turns, it turns, and make it so it doesn't go far enough to shoot you in the back of the head if you look too far to one side. Really simple arm-mounted one would also be, instead of like I've got the big Zeus ones, but they're kind of bulky. If I could do a really low-profile one, that would also be fun.
I think definitely if you do one like with the like on the headphones and you mount it that way, you definitely got to bring back like the much like off your aliens build with the smart gun, some kind of like optic just on the one eye would look very cool on the opposite side of it.
Yeah. Back when I did HVZ at WSU, I had a shoulder-mounted Speed Swarm, the full auto revolver, and I had 3 laser pointers attached to it. So it would do the targeting.
Of course,
it wouldn't actually track or anything, but you
can light people up though.
Yeah, just for the hilarity of it, just cause.
See, that's what's fun.
Re-release Corner Fire. Yeah, there've been a number of different Corner Fires over the year. Hasbro's done them. They did them like way back in the vintage days. There was one that had mirror mounted on it, and then they did one with Rebel, and then somebody else did one recently. Might have been Dart Zone. Might have been X-Shot. Lever action mag-fed half-deck blaster would be cool. The slab is great, but it's 3D printed. I would love for either Dart Zone or Worker to make a lever action blaster. With the Kunlun, Worker now has a bolt action, and I've seen good things. I got to play with one at a recent event. Out of Dart's had the first one that was sent to them. Wii Blasters has them, so I'm trying to get them to send me one, but I haven't heard back from them yet.
How was the Kunlun then?
It's nice. The one thing that I was worried about is that it is very distinctly intended to be operated right-handed, but because it's a toy and it's made of plastic, you can operate it left-handed. You just never take your left hand off the grip, and instead take your right hand off and operate with that. And if it was a real steel firearm, it'd be too heavy for you to be able to do that real effectively. But being made out of plastic, you can. So, no, we're not going to have the Collins, unfortunately. We don't have the button. The person with the button is gone. I would love to see another major company come out with something like the Deploy, a blaster that folds up and then push a button and it pops open. I would love to see either an Elite Deploy or a Worker or a Dart Zone Deploy, something that folds up into a briefcase or whatever, and you poke a button and chunk, chunk. That would be cool.
I agree.
A Rapid Strike X, a Long Shot X, an Alpha Trooper X. I was so hoping that that's what they were going with, that they Re-release the Strife as a Pro Blaster. Okay, give us a long shot. Give us an Alpha Trooper. Give us a Rapid Strike.
Yeah.
It was there. They would have been so brilliant. At the same time, I also don't mind that they went with a cheaper Pro line that were distinctly brand new, svelte designs. I'm hoping we haven't seen the end of Hasbro Pro. We'll see.
Who knows? They're still losing money, and the whole thing is so with the Rapid Strike X and everything else, they'd have to convert it either to End Strike or convert it over to the Half Dart because apparently they have eliminated Elite Darts. So the standard for Nerf stuff that's gone. So it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me! It's all their eggs are in the whole End Strike line until someone decides it's failing, and then they'll have another rebrand or whatever.
The N
back
series.
to the deploy. Oh my god,
madness to switch from the standard ammo type.
I think part of it though is because they painted themselves in their own corner, and it started with the End Strike 2.0. The Elite 2.0, where they took good blasters and some dummy in engineering thought he had an idea how to make this cheaper and make a lot of money and made it all crap, and then it really helped tank everything and started the whole like descent into what are you doing?
Yeah, it started with Alpha Strike. Let's make a really super cheap line to compete with companies like X-Shot and Busby. And then they're like, well, hey, we could do our whole line like this. And then, yeah.
The difference is Busby and X-Shot know how to make cheap stuff good.
Yeah.
Hasbro just made cheap stuff crap.
Yeah, Elite 2.0 was bad. N Series is bad. They're just bad choice after bad choice. It's brutal. But
it is.
X-Shot came out with good stuff. Dart Zone, absolutely killing it. I mean, everything they've come out with has been good. The Venom was awesome. The Nexus 2.0, the Striker 2.0, all of that is just, yep, okay, you've made all of the improvements we wanted. You put stock attachment points on things we wanted. You got away from full-length darts because it's just a waste of engineering.
Yep.
The
redo of the Mark 2.0.
Dart, I mean, Worker obviously has been, Worker's been leading the industry in high-performance blasters since forever. Like people said, a lever action from either Worker or Dart Zone would be amazing.
Yes, it would be. That'd be really good. Oh, back to your deploy. I was going to say, I love the idea, again, of some kind of briefcase blaster. But at the same time, this time, I think battery-powered or flywheeler, whether it be semi or full auto, especially like who had the purse that that was the Rebel series, right? The purse that opened up. Same idea. If you take a briefcase, or same idea where it opens up. Sadly, it'll probably look like a Mac 10, but then there are ways to make it not look like a Mac 10 or a what's it called? The Heckler, the HK pistol fed full S. Either way, it doesn't matter. Something like that, I think, will be very cool where it pops open and it is a flywheeler. I think that'd be great.
Until I still what Brett did with his deploy. He put an XBZ in it. I made it so the pump on the deploy, was the pump for the blaster, and I've been meaning to replicate that for years.
There you go. End of your build. Have the automatic pump that you got somehow in a deploy.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I could just put an auto pump in there.
There you go.
XBZ has a lot smaller tank than the Titan, so it would pump up a lot faster.
I think we got to get you like a large chalkboard or whiteboard on a stand.
Oh, I have
we'll
one.
Decorate it. We'll put it up in your shop and like the idea board where it's always up there.
I have one. It's right above my bazooka rack in my armory. And it's got stuff written on it that I then forget because
it's over there in the armory.
Yeah. What I need is a personal assistant who just keeps going, hey, do the thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I need to get back on a regular video schedule. I fell off and then just never produce anything anymore. It's been a rough year.
It has been. But what reminds me, dude, how's the I saw the video. Have I seen all of it? No, your build of the Moose 2.
Yeah. That video went out. Um, it's still underperforming what I would have expected. And I'm not sure if I've just got an air leak somewhere that I haven't tracked down, if I've got a bad O-ring somewhere I haven't tracked down, but it's got no air seal and still hits 200 or 170 FPS with no air seal of any kind. I don't know how that's even possible. It could be that the leak is at the barrel, but I'm pretty sure I checked that. So I need to take it apart and go through it section by section and figure out where the air leak is and fix it. But on the other hand, if I can get it a little bit lower, I could actually use it at like Borst. If I could get it to 150, then I could run it at Borst. And that would be insane and terrifying. Oh, wait, no. Our FPS for Mega is lower than regular Dart. So I'd have to get it down to 100, which I don't even know if that's possible.
You'd have to put some kind of weird suppressor on it that really slows it down.
Or put a really weak spring in it.
You could, but I think changing out the suppressor would be easier.
The what really impressed me though was putting an actual magnifying optic on the Moose 1. It is by far the most accurate long-range blaster I have. The fact that when I put it in, loaded it up, I hit 6 out of 6 at 75, 6 out of 6 at 100, and 4 out of 4 at stop. I've never done that with any blaster before, much less Mega.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments was like, I can't get my Mega to hit a 2-foot target at 25 feet. You're hitting 100 feet? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, that's the Moose. Well, I think it's a couple of things, right? It's the power, but at the same time, it's the B car.
The B car and firing Mega AccuFakes.
Yes.
Because AccuFake darts, AccuStrike darts really are the most accurate darts anyone's come up with.
Yep.
And so making a Mega, they fly straighter. It would probably have more power if I was firing a lighter round, because Mega AccuStrike rounds are much heavier than regular Mega rounds. But with anything lighter, you just can't hit anything. The heavy round, I think, is some of what's keeping it accurate. That heavy head with that momentum, the inertia. It was.
When we were there and putting the regular Mega rounds through it, man, it was not that accurate. It was still fun, but it was a lot of this.
Yeah, you could not hit anything with regular Mega. Which that's true of my Mega Burn. It hits 150. It also, if you're firing anything but AccuStrike or AccuFake, there's just no point because you're not going to hit anything at all. I don't think anyone has tried making a direct plunger deploy. I know that we did power stock deploys back in the day, but I don't know that everyone's done direct plunger. There's more than enough room. There's an inordinate amount of room in a deploy, especially if you disable the whole collapsing feature. You could shove a whole, caliber and plunger tube in that shell if you felt like it. You'd have to completely fabricate all new internals, but I mean, we've got 3D printers, we can do that. But I don't think anybody has. And I know people have made flywheel deploys using Flywheel of the World parts.
We got some talented people in the hobby, man.
For a fun, silly sleeper.
Which is always good.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, what are y'all doing for the wintertime? So not all of us are blessed with clubs that have indoor facilities. A lot of us play at outdoor fields. Or if you live in the rainforest, as someone else does here, you're probably not playing outside because you're not only wet and cold, but you're cold and wet and soaked and not going to happen. So what do you guys do for the winter? We're going to keep busy. What are your plans? What are your thoughts? Or are you lucky enough where you got some indoor facilities where you can keep the dream alive and go shoot up all your friends? The way I said that sounds terrible. Have foam-flinging wars with all your friends.
We actually do have some indoor events happening this year for the first time. I'm helping run one for the local homeschool society in my county. They came to Borst, and I ran 2 for them at Borst, and now they want me to run one at an indoor facility they have access to. And then there's a guy who's been running some at a mall, or rather a closed off section of the mall where they walled off part of the mall for whatever reason. He was able to get us in there, and the first one, he's run a couple of events before, and they had like 5 people show up, 10 people show up, 12 people show up. There were like 70 or 80 people that showed up to this event in the mall. And the space really was a little small for the number of people we had.
Amazing.
It was actually a paid event, and so I paid to go play, and so I just went and I played. I didn't volunteer to help run the event because I was paying to be there. Future events, I might volunteer to try to help because there were definitely some organizational gaps just from he wasn't prepared for the event to be that big. They needed more skilled moderators. They needed a little bit more structure, a little bit more organization. And I really do think a lot of it was just through way faster than he was prepared for. There were still plenty of people who stepped up and volunteered, and the event ran really well. But I think it could have done even better. And that's just how things work. You're like, okay, next event, hopefully they'll be prepared for the larger number. Maybe organize the play field a little bit differently. Maybe run multiple events. But I'm definitely looking forward to another event there, and I'm hoping that. And one of the reasons that I'm definitely willing to help with it and to go to it and to pay to play at this event is to help it become better. Because if he has enough money and if he can count on there being enough people showing up, he can book a better venue, a larger venue.
Yes,
because that's always the problem. You have to pay for indoor venues. They aren't free. And if you want to get to a nicer venue, well, that's going to cost more money. Well, if you know that 100 people are going to show up, you can get a better site because you can count on that the ticket sales to cover the cost of the venue.
Absolutely.
Until you get that regular, yep, we're always getting 80 people every time. Okay, now we can go for a venue that's a little bit bigger. But it's always the location. Venue is always the hardest thing to get. Because land isn't cheap, and people who have it know the value of it and know that they can charge.
As it turns out, so again, because I'm near Maryland, and we have the Maryland Foam Alliance, and there are 3 clubs. And of the 3 clubs, one of them, which is Southern Maryland House of Nerf, they have discovered that they are literally about a few miles down from an airsoft facility. And because, again, I'm not going to argue this because I don't know, but what I've heard from different people, and I remember talking to the actual owner of this field, he came out to the Charles County Fair, which Southern Maryland House of Nerf has a booth at always last year, and he was talking to a few people, and he feels that airsoft at that point is kind of like a dying sport where you don't get enough people out like you used to. And so, which because of that, makes them more open to, because they got these facilities and they got bills to pay, obviously, to open it up to therefore generate business to keep their fields busy. Now, don't quote me on that. That may have changed recently, but as a result of it, I remember, so the Richmond group, I think, actually, with conjunction with some of the Maryland guys, actually had an event at their field where they got to play on their tournament field. But the point is that it looks like they may give us a pretty good rate for doing it. I don't have all the details, but it's one of those where, like, well, how awesome would this be if this happens? So it's one of those, even though, let's say a few years ago you tried an airsoft space, or you tried like a laser tag arena, and let's face it, what they were asking for was ridiculous. It wasn't going to happen. Times change, business change, things change, where suddenly they might not be in the same position. So even if you tried, or people had tried a few years ago, now it could be very different. A good example, CR Nerf. So we got Bill out in Iowa. He does it regularly at a laser tag arena. And even so much so where they'd only give them weekdays, because usually the weekends they try to reserve it for their people, but they're now giving it to them on Saturday mornings as well, which people have asked for, just because sometimes, obviously, during the week, because of jobs, family obligations, it's hard to get out to. But they clearly are seeing enough rewards where they're starting to give them Saturday mornings. So it's again, don't be afraid to ask places where you think they'd say no, because you never know how it may. Like, example, the mall. because of like the downturn in malls in general, where you try to ask at a mall 6, 7 years ago, they probably laugh at you and say, "What are you nuts?" Where now it's like, "Yes, please, we got to get people in here."
Yeah. The other thing that I want to start actually looking into and maybe reaching out to are closed box stores, looking for Kmart's, Sears, any other large, what used to be a department store that's now closed. Will they rent out the space for a day? Will they rent out the space for a weekend? Um, Worst they can do is say no. And if they ask for a ridiculous amount, well, then you look somewhere else. But eventually, you're probably, if you ask enough places, someone's gonna be like, "Sure, I'll unlock it for a couple $100 on a weekend. Just clean up after yourselves." You're like, "Well, it's Nerf. It's easy to clean up. We'll be taking all of our ammo with us, so we're not going to
Yep.
wreck the place. We're not going to leave holes in the walls. You might find a rival round rolled under a shelf somewhere, but that's not going to harm anything." All right, let's look at the comments. How do I fix a long shot with a bolt sled that keeps getting stuck before priming? It depends on what it's getting stuck on. My guess is it's part of the priming lock is probably getting fouled, or there's something in the blaster. Some small child stuck a Lego in there. You're going to need to open it up, take a look, figure out what's getting caught, where it's getting caught, why it's getting caught. It might be a bad spring. It might be a piece of grit. It might be that the part's broken. Some kid jammed it and then tried forcing it and cracked the bolt in case. Well, the good news about long shots is there are replacement bolt sleds for long shots. There's all kinds of long shot kits. Workers got them. Out of Darts has them. There's 3D printed ones. The beautiful thing about upgrading the long shot is it was such a good platform and was available for so long that, like the Strife, there are a lot of kits available for it. That's kind of why I laugh anytime someone says, "Oh, is this going to be the Strife killer?" Like, if it's on the shelves for 10 years, maybe. But most blasters nowadays are on the shelves for 6 months and then they're replaced by something new.
Yep.
There's not time for them to develop the ecosystem that existed for the long shot and the retaliator and the Strife and all those old blasters.
Yep.
They were available for so long. That's why Workers started making kits for them. Then when they finally retired, that's when Workers started developing their own shells, and then eventually realized, let's just make blasters up. And that's how Worker got to where it is. Lubricant, it might be something, it's just a matter of it's old and full of dirt and needs to get cleaned and lubed. Laser tag, let's see.
By the way, the best thing I found so far jammed in a blaster, it was a Barbie high heel.
All right.
Yep. Barbie high heel. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
How? Lord knows. But I was in there. I can't remember what blaster was. The point is, it was a Barbie high heel, and that's where it's like, all right, drop the mic, done.
Yeah, the other big issue about renting space, especially something like a box store, is going to be the insurance. They are going to want you to have event insurance, and they should expect you to have event insurance. Often facilities like an airsoft facility or a laser tag facility, they have their own insurance because they're a business.
Yeah.
And you're just renting their space from their business. But if it's not set up for that, which is why we've been trying to get a 501c3 or an LLC or something set up here. I've been meaning to get the makerspace set up as a 501c3 for years. I've all set and then plague and never recovered. Still trying to recover from that. Really derailed a lot of things.
What did?
Because then you can get insurance through that entity, through that 501c3 or that LLC or whatever. But again, you have to be able to pay for the insurance. And so you need to be able to run enough events that get enough people that it can pay for both the insurance and the cost of the space. And one of the big problems, and we're slowly getting over this, is so many people still think Nerf should be free, because it has been for so long in this hobby. The Borst, we don't charge for Borst. If we started charging for Borst, we'd have funds to do all sorts of stuff. But there might then be people who can't afford to go to Borst, and we don't want to do that. HVZ also has the stigma of you should never have to pay for HVZ, and we're slowly getting away from that, both by people running events that aren't traditional HVZ, RAG referring to it as Stalking Dead and having it be HVHVHVZ. That's a whole different thing. Mall Madness having actual levels and classes and stuff like that. That feels different enough from HVZ that people don't have an issue paying. Plus, it's such a good event. Both of them are such good events. It's more than worth paying for. And they're able to make those events that good because they have resources. They've got money. So, one of the things is, running really good events costs money. Running an event in a public park is the venue's free, but you're going to get potentially lesser quality unless you have, benefactors with resources that go out of their way to make the event better. Fill trailers with entire Nerf wars with cover and blasters, and not everywhere has that.
I was just thinking, part of it's because I grew up in Southern Ontario and Toronto, and obviously hockey's a huge thing. So trying to get a rink now with ice doesn't make sense. However, in the off season, so even in the summertime when it's crazy hot, but I'm guessing just because if they can rent the facility for people to come and skate, and you pay like $5 to go skate when there's no ice in there, and well, the one downside is ball hockey is now huge in Southern Ontario, but it's just like an example of a place where in the summertime they might already have the insurance because of the facility they have, and they'll rent it out to you by the hour to hold Nerf wars in. So it's things like that, finding venues that may already have the insurance because they provide the space for it, but then just thinking out of the box and realizing when those people aren't going to be in there, and suddenly if we put a Nerf war in there, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this makes total sense.
Yeah. It got to get creative. You never know where you're suddenly going to find someplace. You might find someone who owns a business and has kids that are into Nerf and is like, hey, yeah, you can use my facility over the weekend as long as my kids can come play. Well, sure.
Yes.
Sometimes it's people like the events that I hold. I bought property that's got a large enough space that I can hold a certain size Nerf war, but I can't host a 100-person event on my property. I just don't have the room or the facilities at the moment. I don't have the parking would be a problem. But I can host smaller events.
We'll park it on your neighbor's lawn. Screw them.
Let's see. Someone asked, have I seen the new modular building? I have. And yeah, it does have a very Tudor look about it. You'd have to change a lot of things to make it really fit in with Castle, but it's got the start, the way the second 2 floors look fabulous. Ice rink, yep. That's what Al was saying, an ice rink. I've played it at a what would you call that facility?
Trampoline
a church
park?
Complex, for lack of a better term.
Oh yeah,
because they had their own gymnasium, and then they had lots of hallways going to different places, and so we played through the hallways up to the chapel. We didn't actually Nerf in the chapel; that was considered going a little too far. But there were a lot of hallways and passageways, and the gymnasium had a balcony, so there were 2 stories with people shooting down at you from upstairs. It was a great location.
Which reminds me, so when I mentioned this about a year and a half ago, the church I go to was afraid of doing such events because of stigmas and blah 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 blah. Yet now, because I've had pastors in my booth and they've met a lot of the community and realized what we're all about, I think next year we're going to start introducing Nerf wars into the youth program. Yeah. So it's again, just because someone says no at first, sometimes it's because they don't actually realize what it is we do. So do not be afraid don't be annoying and scare people. But sometimes it's just educating those that you're asking for, and suddenly when they realize it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is a great idea. Yeah, we are in on this.
I have Nerfed at a trampoline park, and it was amazing. There was one up in Olympia that invited us to do their lock-in, they did a lock-in with the kids, and
my.
I don't know if the kids just weren't into the Nerf or if it wasn't advertised or they didn't know they were allowed or what. But most of the kids just sat around and hung out, whereas it was all of us nerdy nerfing, mostly adults, having the most fun. I lost so much ammo there because it was going into the pits and you're never getting it back. But it was still just so much fun. Um, Running around, jumping around, playing all these different games on when you can, jump off of things and into pits and swing from ropes. And yeah, it was an absolute blast.
What about
If
so? Go ahead.
no, I got
Well, one thing I remembered, so growing up, and I guess it depends on where you are, what district or what county is. So I played soccer when I was a kid. Background's Croatian, European. Of course, we played soccer. And skating, my ankles went out, so ice hockey wasn't for me because I didn't have the ankles for it. But in the wintertime, we'd still practice. But the where we would practice was actually in schools and rent out their gymnasiums for after 6 or 7 to play soccer in. Now again, this is in the 80s and 90s in Ontario, but at the same time, I'm thinking find out where local sports. Obviously, the obvious things are like indoor soccer parks and stuff like that, but not every area has it. And I guess it might be finding out local community centers, local schools, or local programs. Figure out where soccer coaches or other people are able to rent like gymnasiums or schools or other places like that. And because again, some of these soccer teams like they got a ton of money either to rent it, but somehow they're able to get the facility to practice in. So it might be the same angle, finding out where people play indoor sports and again don't have a lot of money and barking up that tree and see what they say.
yeah, community centers, um, local sports field. A group that I know they've also done it in I think the Moscow area. The parkour club, the free running guys. They often have really cool facilities that are designed to be run around and jump and swing and all that kind of stuff. And they tend to be the sort that enjoy, well, why do we do that exact same thing, but now we all have blasters? Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's again, like we said, the cost of the venue and the cost of insurance. Again, if you can find a facility that has its own insurance and are just allowing you to use that, that's fabulous. Otherwise, that's the big hurdle. Um, what do we get going on? I think we asked what people were hoping to get for Christmas. I guess, and we kind of had some discussion on what do you guys want to see next year from the
Yeah.
various companies. We've discussed lever action. Love to see lever action either from Dart Zone or from Worker because they're the ones who will do it right. Metal lever, heavy plastic blaster, high power, figure it out. I hope Mega isn't gone, but it does seem to be going the way of the Dodo because Dart Zone never got into it. Worker, they came out with Mega XL darts, or I think it was probably N Strike or NF Strike came out with the Mega XL or the Mega AccuFakes. I want to see more Mega XL. I loved it. I think it's probably gone. Um, Hasbro's just making bad choice after bad choice. I'm sure they've got their reasons, and we're not seeing the spreadsheets that are making them make these choices. But um, it's weird that they went from being the standard in the hobby to abandoning the standard.
Yep.
It's bizarre. I would love to see more things with rockets. For the
Yep.
longest time, all we were getting was hamps. They came out with the Demolisher rocket, but then the only thing that fired them were all hamps, and it's speculated that that's because of the lawsuit with Lonnie Johnson, who owned the rights to compressed air blasters. But that lawsuit was settled, and then we started seeing compressed air blasters again. We saw the Moto Blitz,
Yep.
and
Motorboats
there
had
was
it.
a barrel attachment that also had compressed air shotgun feature. Um, so apparently they've got the rights to do that again. I would love to see them make a bazooka that fired Mega XL. We have the XBZ, obviously, and I've got a bin full of them. They had things like the Berserker, and there was a Spy Kids shoulder rocket launcher that was compressed air. There's lots of things that fire them, but I would like to see more.
Yes.
Yeah, a magazine-fed Mega XL would be awesome.
Much like we said, the Mega minigun. Now, can you imagine a chain-felled Mega XL? It'd be basically like a 40 millimeter.
The 40 millimeter grenade launcher.
Yes,
Somebody else pointed
that
out a
would
good
be,
one.
my
Yes,
God.
a bullpup AEB. There are some kits that will turn like the Soldier 76 into a bullpup, but that's again a 3D printed kit. A dedicated bullpup AEB reverse or turnaround plunger style would be pretty cool.
Yes.
People have asked, would it be possible to make a belt or a magazine-fed Demolisher rocket blaster? And I think the only way to make it work you'd have to have shells.
That's a big magazine that what are you putting on the
I mean, it's going
bottom?
to be a huge magazine. It's going to be really wide, and you're going to have big old bulky shells. But otherwise, you're never going to get the rockets to stack cleanly. Whereas if
You'd
they're
have,
in shells, you could stack them.
yeah. I guess if you did, well, so I think ideally, because for the spring and the weight, is to have a box fed on top. But on top, you got to look over the mag. However, let's
Yeah.
be creative. What if we tilted the mag this way?
Yeah.
You could see, and then it still feeds. You still get gravity fed, which would add this way, and it'd be different design, but still look cool. So it still looked like some huge anti-material rifle.
Yep. You could also just go completely sideways at that point. You could also, if you made it, take a harmonica style clip.
Yep.
A Demolisher rocket harmonica clip. That would be another way you could actually get.
I think harmonica clip, but at the same time, now I'm asking for a lot for the engineering. At the same time, being able to take out the harmonica clip and just feed in one shell at a time would also be cool. Because sometimes it'd be cool just to go one shell at a time instead of running around with the harmonica clip.
Yeah. No, I don't think that would be actually that complicated. Or that much more complicated anyway. You just have to make the shell the exact same geometry as the harmonica clip. So it would basically be a harmonica clip, but just only one round. And then you could make the harmonica clip as long as you wanted or as short as you wanted from 1 to whatever. Or if you made it belt-fed shells. A belt of shells that took Demolisher rockets. Then you could also easily make it only take one or take the belt.
So here's a question. Just because obviously it's clear that the manufacturers sometimes take what the hobby makes and realize this is a great idea and blatantly steal the idea. So considering we just talked about it, and what if Worker just took the Moose 1 and then made that?
Yeah, because I mean the Swift was just a Caliburn.
Yep.
So why not just make a Moose?
And you already got a company that's still making the AccuFakes, so you just making arrangements with them. They're your dart. There's your product already. You strike a deal with them, and Eric he made a beautiful thing, which is the Moose 1, and they just now make that plastic injected molded, and away we go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Worker get into Mega.
We're doing this wrong. Cool. We got to talk to Moose and tell him to take his plans and go to Worker and say, "Hey, I got an idea. Make this. Give me money."
I mean, it worked for Captain Slug and the Caliburn.
Yes, exactly. Dustin
Bergen pointed out more rear load revolvers like the Ultra 2, but for regular darts.
Yep.
There is an off-brand company that makes one. I can't remember the name of it. I've used it to do to do a commission. I should acquire some more of that blaster while they're still available. The downside is I wanted to make them so they just ran with double A's, but unfortunately, the Honey Badger motors are no longer available. So I need to find a different motor that can run on double A's, but still have that level of performance. You just have to look for the specs of a honey badger and see if anybody else makes a motor similar to it.
I think Dart Zone did it with the Outlaw in terms of replaceable cylinders, which is amazing, and I still love it. It'd be nice to see someone do it again, where it's again hammer primed, half dart, but not have the cylinder where the cylinder just swings out and swings back in for the fun of it, and then at the same time make it so you can pop in new cylinders. But I think having it so just like the Old West, you pop over the cylinder and then flip it back in, just more for aesthetics and fun would be great.
Yeah. The Destiny pistol has a pop-out swappable cylinder, and it's semi-automatic. Yep. It's flywheel.
Yep.
I picked up one of those when they went on sale.
I still got to get one, man.
Yes, right. The Mark IV is also basically just a Caliburn clone, as was the Razor. Yep. That one was a little bit more complicated, and the design was stolen and made cheaply without the license, which is unfortunate because it had so much potential to be a great blaster. It's a good blaster. It should have been a great blaster.
Truth.
You get thieves. 13 thieves.
Lipo half-length double punch. Yeah, that'd be fun. Actually, that'd be a lot of fun, man.
That wouldn't be that difficult, I wouldn't think. You just need the mag adapters and probably replacement pushers.
And the best part is, so now you have two of them, right? And now you convert it to half length, and now you put in two Tachi mags, and so suddenly you have an SMG.
You've got 60 rounds of. You got over 60 rounds. Tachi mags.
60 rounds.
Were Tachi mags retired?
Oh, were they retired? The 29s?
I think they swapped over to the Kodas, which unfortunately the Kodas, the geometry is different enough from Talons that there are things that the Talon will work in that the Tachi won't, unless you modify your Tachi mags a little bit. Like the feed lips aren't quite the same, and they're like a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. It's weird how the tolerances of some blasters are really, really picky. And then other ones are a lot looser. And it's interesting when people complain, oh, the magwell's a little loose. You're like, yeah, that's so that it will fit any magazine. If they make it perfectly fit a Talon, then it won't fit a Tachi, or it won't fit a Koda, or it won't fit Dart Zone or whatever. If you make it a little bit looser, then it'll take anything.
So they were just not selling enough, or they just can't get any more, or?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Out of Darts doesn't tell me that sort of thing.
That's okay. It's not expected. But yeah, dude, that'd be fun. Because then, you just created an SMG. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. And it basically has a 2-round burst with the way the trigger works. So just Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Put that on the chalkboard.
Yeah, I did pick up a double punch. I found one on a new in box at a thrift store somewhere.
Nice. I think I have two. Anthony gave me one, and I picked up somewhere else one. So I think I've
seen a couple at thrift stores. I haven't picked up another one though.
Well, you need the inspiration to have
Demolition Rocket Springer. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be probably the most efficient way to do it. Because trying to do it flywheel, I don't know how the fins would react to flywheels.
Yeah.
Mega XL would work much better as a flywheel, semi or fully automatic flywheel blaster. Demolisher rockets, I think you're right. I think Springer would be the way to go. You'd almost certainly get more power and consistency.
How ridiculous would that be if it was an AEB? Could you do it? An AEB shooting demolisher rockets?
I mean, it would just be a matter of big enough plunger volume and a heavy enough spring.
How loud would that thing be?
I would love an AEB that fired.
An AEB that fires them all. Even Mega XL rounds.
Oh, what was it? Is it the Razorback? I think it's the Razorback. Yes, the Max Force Razorback from 1994 was a belt-fed crank-powered blaster.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So if you had it, and it only had a crank on one side, but if you had the crank on both sides and had it tripod mounted, and then had it belt-fed, so you're cranking it as a Springer, that would actually be really cool.
And then we're gonna put it on a big carriage, just like the the Civil Warren.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Obscene and ridiculous and fantastic.
Yes, it's what we're about.
Yeah.
It is what we're about.
I could go for that.
Oh my God, yeah.
I may have to finally get more ambitious with my end of the year projects, because so far it's all been proton packs of one kind or another.
Which have been fantastic, but yes.
Which have been fun, but I've done it for enough years in a row. Maybe I need to go to something that level of crazy.
But also, you could be misleading people because they have no idea what you did this year. You may have done it this year, but you're dropping this, so you're unsuspecting.
It could be a double bluff. You don't know.
That's right. It could be a double bluff.
Ooh, what features do you like for a master key? So, for me, the biggest thing that a master key needs to give you is something that your primary doesn't.
Yes.
So just putting a mag-fed blaster on another mag-fed blaster, that's silly.
Yes.
But a shotgun, even if it fires the same darts, the fact that it fires multiple at the same time means it gives you something different. Because I've played in HVZs where you had to hit a target with like 5 darts before they were stunned. Well, if you can fire that in one big burst instead of having to dump half your mag into them, that works. Something that fires a different ammo, obviously. So Mega is a big one. That was why we did Magnuses as our master keys for so long, because a lot of HVZs started using Mega as a special ammunition that was needed to kill certain zombies. So Ragnar Oktoberfest does that too. They do, this thing can only be taken out by Mega, or this thing can only be taken out by Mega XL. So something that fires either Mega or Mega XL really works. Now, I would love something that took, I might even have something and I'm just blanking on it now, something that takes shells that can fire either Mega or Mega XL or multiple stuff. There's lots of blasters now that take shells. There's like the silly shells. If you could make one of those conveniently underslung, like the Proud Papa line, they can fire lots of different things as well. You just put on a different barrel.
Something like the Spring Thunder, but a compact version.
Yeah, that's the problem. The Spring Thunder is way too big to be a convenient master key. It needs to be small, which is why something that would take shells, because it doesn't need to be particularly powerful. At most, you're going to need to shoot 25 feet. If you can hit a man-sized target at 25 feet with your master key, that's fine. Because if you're using your master key, it's because something nasty is getting close to you in general. So if you could have a bandolier of all the different ammo types that all the special zombies take, and then just a quick, an M40 style or what's the underslung grenade launcher? I'm blanking on.
I think it is. I think it is the M203.
Yeah, the M203, which I do have an underslung M203 that I do have some shells for, and I need to do that because I just described my perfect master key and it's sitting in a bin in my shop. I've run out of excuses.
You know what?
But that's the main key. Is it needs to give you something your primary doesn't. If it's just a backup for your primary, that's what a sidearm is.
Do you know what actually be good? Because, like, for example, when I look at like the rival takedown, it is the perfect size. Now it shoots rival rounds. This little shotgun, especially when you chop that off, it's already chopped. It is a great size, so you don't have to worry about a huge barrel on it. So if you take something like that, which is still pumped, but then make it so like the Raider or the Rampage, where it's a side mag, and the side mag takes shells, it is compact enough to fit under it. You don't need to have like a giant banana mag out of it. You basically just need a short mag for like 3 to 4 shells in it, because that's what you need for your special ammo. And it's pump fed. That would fit perfectly and be underslung on so many things.
Yeah.
You know what else I'd love to see? Example, on your Moose 2, you have the little attachment for the 40 max shell, the single shot, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'd love to have one where it's specifically designed as an undermount, two of them side by side that you can pop open, so you have two shots on the underside.
Flux has a double-barreled 40 max blaster.
But is it
You
short
just
enough,
need
or
to you just need to redesign it so it underslung better. That would not be.
that's the
I mean,
whole thing?
it'd be kind of wide, but you know.
But that's part of the fun part about this hobby is that we don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be svelte. It'd be so much fun if you had like a double on the under, like looking down the barrel of it, and now you got two 40 max right there, and never mind one shot, two shots. Because let's face it, the 40
Yeah.
max sometimes, depending on what chair you put it, you might do this, and then you're screwed. But don't worry, second one. If you miss the
Yeah.
second one too, well, you know what? At least you
You
tried.
deserve to die at that point. Yeah.
Yes.
It was ordained. It was meant to be.
Yes. Yes.
Apparently, Wizard Builds is designing a silly shell master key that uses wild style hardware. That would be awesome.
That would be.
That would be pretty cool. Ultimately, you could. I mean, if you went with I have that double barreled one. I wonder if the priming handles are far enough apart to fit on either side of a magazine. So if you underslung it with those, because it's rear prime, and so usually that means it's going to get in the way of your primary's magazine, unless you have a side fed blaster. But I wonder if that is. I'm sure it can't. Yeah, they're I'm not sure. I'd have to see, because that would be pretty cool to just underslung that under something that's magazine fed.
Oh yeah. I still need to. Actually, now that I took advantage of the sale on Ragefire miniguns, and I have way too many of them. I still need to minimize the barrel on that, and I got to still undersling that on something.
Yeah,
That's a given. That's gonna happen.
I'm surprised. Have you underslung a Scorpion on something yet?
Which one's the Scorpion again?
It's the little bitty minigun.
No, because I didn't like the lines. It looks too toy-like. That was my thing.
Very true. Well, mounted
Yeah,
on something toy-like, so it matches.
I know, but it's like, that was my like no knock against it, but it looked. It didn't inspire me.
That's fair. I at one
Yeah.
point had a shoulder-mounted Scorpion.
Yes,
And
you did.
I souped it up on. I overvolted it, and I feel so bad now. I did so many things back during the WSU days that we hadn't learned our lesson. We didn't know that FEJs were bad. We didn't know trust fires were bad. It hadn't occurred to me that shoulder mounting a belt fed blaster that is exactly at eye level might be bad. So the horde charged in, and I opened up with the shoulder fired minigun and just face shot every one of them. You're like, oh, probably should have angled that down a little, maybe.
So, because actually Eric did it when Eric first made the Moose, he actually like attached a Rage Fire just on the front end of it just for fun. And then at one point here, I had two Rage Fires primed out. I hadn't finished painting them; they're just in the black. So on the table, I put them side by side and then put the Moose one on top of it. The sad thing, well, not the sad thing, the scary thing is that it looked so right. Where it's like I have got to figure out how to combine two rage fires so it all fires on the same trigger, and then be able to easily attach it to the bottom of a Moose one. So now you have big and ridiculous. So first, well, what is the point of that? You've missed it. That's the point, because I
The
can,
point
and
has gone
it's
over your head.
stupid. But at the same time, you want final boss points. Final boss. Let example. Let's say we develop a game where it's the final boss. And the final boss has that. What does that mean? He's pinging you off with a Moose one at 100 feet, at 100 feet, and when you finally get close enough, then it's full on Rage Fire miniguns. Never mind if the final boss is, let's say, one Al the Geek and one Captain Xavier with matching orange and yellow ones, and we're the final boss. And good luck getting to us and surviving. And we're in a bunker.
That would be fun.
And we're in a
That would be
bunker.
fun.
All right, that's now on my list. Yeah, I got to do that. I got to do that.
I think I have a Ragefire. I might look into master keying a Ragefire on my moose just cause.
Do it. I think the first, yeah, because you can go full length, but I still want to experiment with shortening it just to see if I can for other reasons. Because I had a guy at a convention, and he's a master welder over in Norfolk, so he works on ships. And the best part, he has a clearance because of some of the crazy things he makes. And he actually made an exoskeleton, which I think someone bought off of him, and he was just messing around in his shop. So he wanted me to make him about 3 rage fires and 1 minimized because his daughter's not so big because he's going to make arm mounts for it. But
Yeah.
then radio silence for a little bit. As it turns out, he messaged me. Dude was so much fun, and I've seen him 2 conventions straight. He had 2 heart attacks this fall, which has waylaid him. He's still survived, thankfully, but it's put him a little behind where it's like, man, I will make it for him, but I got to make sure the man is upright and good. But so yeah, prayers for him, man, that he comes through. But he was the one that suggested like the shortened rage fire again to mount onto things or arms or wherever else.
Very cool.
There's another thing. Someone make me like a rage fire minigun that shoots short darts.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, low, a small caliber minigun. Um, well, some of them, like, I mean, there's no reason you couldn't load half darts in a Vulcan,
Yeah.
because it's an AEB rather than a flywheel.
All right. Here's the question because we just talked about it. Could you make the Vulcan then into your 40 into the Mega XL chain gun?
No, it's
Is
got
the
way
barrel
too
big
small
enough?
of a plunger tube. You'd have to
Hmm.
completely replace the internals. You might be able to, I mean, I don't know how much power things like the 76 or the 77 or the other powerful AEBs, they're hitting, close to 200 FPS with a half dart. How well could they fire a mega dart? Because
Yeah.
if it still can get 80, 90, 100, that's still plenty for what you're ever going to need a mega dart to do. Because
Yep.
that's what a lot of groups cap the mega at a lower FPS than they do regular because it's got so much more mass. So if it would do it,
Which
true. I
reminds
mean,
me.
yes, it would be with a Vulcan, but the nice thing is that there is a perfectly viable drop-in flywheel cage for the Vulcan. So it's not hard to make a Vulcan a viable platform. It's just big and bulky and takes belts.
Yep.
But building a deployable, throwing in a flywheel cage into your Vulcan isn't that difficult. Making it proton pack fed's a little bit more troublesome, but we managed to pull that off finally.
You had to pull everything out of it, no?
No, actually, we didn't. It still has the original firing mechanism in there, so it
Wow.
still goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. The
That's
ka-chunk just
right.
doesn't do anything but sound cool.
Ooh, see, that's
So it still
okay.
has the recoil, it still has the sound, but it's just spitting rival
Yeah,
because Sergeant Deplorable is a goon, and I love him.
that's
Um,
right. I support that. Where was I going with this? I was going to say something I totally forgot. I'm not sure. It'll come to me eventually.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I need to build that pulse rifle.
Yes, you do.
Still haven't.
Well, you now have time.
Yeah, but it's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Means I might have to set up a filming setup in my living room so I can build it in my house.
Yeah, I was about to
I can at
suggest
least
that.
assemble the shell in my house. I might have to take the soldering back outside.
Probably a good idea. Yeah, right there. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Mag-fed deplorable? What exactly do you think a mag-fed deplorable would be? I think we have varying definitions of what a deplorable is.
I would agree with that. I think that's what's happening.
Um, I mean, people have made Vulcan's belt or magazine fed. You just replace the AEB with a pusher, with like a rapid strike pusher, and then you just turn where the belt feeds into a mag well. If you're going for you want the look of a Vulcan, but you want it to be magazine fed, that can be done fairly easily. Um,
Truth.
So, yeah.
Oh, we forgot to mention the announcement. Even though we're
What?
not doing a charity drive, Corbin's charity drive is active.
Did you not mention that?
I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't hurt to mention it again.
Let's mention it again. Yes, Foam's Giving is not happening this year, but the Corbin, is that what it's called? Corbert?
Joy of Socks, yeah, by Slow
Joy of
Taco.
Socks. Um, Containment Cruise, Joy of Socks thing is happening. Yes. So we are, some of the effort that we were going to be putting into Foam's Giving is going towards that as far as time and effort and things that we're donating. I need to get around to sending pictures to them for the thing that I'm donating to that. I'm donating a rush or a crush. I don't know which one's which. The one that takes straight talons is the one they requested. So Foam's Giving will get the angled talon version.
They put up because I think they put a picture up as well. It went live yesterday. I had put in in conjunction with Containment Crew, I have put in 2 seagulls, and both seagulls I've actually painted them yellow, so they are Al the Geek specials and they will be signed. Nice. One is your standard seagull with no extra sights. The other one has a sight and a stock on it just for fun. But as a result of this too, I am now selling painted seagulls and harriers because I just realized how much fun it is to paint these and paint them in other colors that you want. Unless you want to buy the ugly flesh-colored one that nobody wants. But some people do own.
Yeah, I ended up with a flesh-colored one. I painted it in a neat black and orange camo pattern that I hadn't done in a long time.
You're so fancy.
I need to find the pictures, because apparently this has been done, and I haven't seen the picture, of somebody who took the flesh-colored one, because it's not tan, it's skin-toned, but painted it to look like it was tattooed.
See, that is pretty cool. By the way,
you're like, okay, that's got to look. I mean, that's some Hannibal Lecter level stuff, but yes. I really want to see a picture of it.
That's creative
paint
art,
some
though.
Stars on it and a heart tattoo, and you're like, oh, that is disturbing. And I think they had like the 3D printed hand foregrip, or if they didn't, they should have replaced the stock with a hand that just braces against your shoulder. Go all in if you're going to do something like that. And I love that level of creativity.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about this hobby.
So surprisingly, the 2 that Containment Crew sent me were 2 flesh ones because they're not moving. So I painted them.
Nobody wants them. They're creepy.
That's the thing. I'm painting them anyways. I don't care what color they are because they all go vinyl dye black first and then they go the color I wanted. So yeah, they are now both Al the Geek yellow. Nice. And yeah, if you go over to the charity thing, you'll see it. Also, again, people are like, sure, Al, you keep promising things. We're going to do something in conjunction with helping push that charity as well, just because we like it. We support it very much. What they do is great over there. So even though this is the last one for this year, we're still going to be pushing and promoting and helping that. And we also might be throwing more stuff into it as it goes. So look for it there, and definitely we'll make it happen.
We'll do something.
I guess the standard question.
Get bored.
I know, and then then we'll just make a lot of Ragefire miniguns, master keys, and shoulder mounted everything, and we'll just be ridiculous. Because you can. But I was gonna say, so then everyone, if you guys don't let comments, now that a lot of the events of next year have officially been announced and dates have been given, you all want to sound in which ones you actually think you'll be able to attend, or at least you're hoping to attend, or if they're ones you are definitely not going to be attending. Let's see in the comments what you think. So again, first one is March 1st, and that is, what's it called again? The one in upstate New York that Archer does.
The winter one?
Sub-Zero, yeah, Sub-Zero. It has been announced March 1st, and again, that's in upstate New York. I think it's the same venue. Don't quote me on it, but look for it, and you'll find the post about it. Obviously, Maryland Mayhem has been announced, and it's official. It is Mother's Day weekend, May 9th or 10th weekend, and they've switched up the order of it, too, where Friday is the tournament, Saturday's 11th hour with the convention, and then the HVZ is on the Sunday. What do you think about that, dude?
I kind of like, I'm there for the HVZ. I'm not interested in the competitive, though. I'll obviously be there for um, Team Mega XL. I'm mostly there for the HVZ, so I don't want to burn myself out in the tournament and then the war, and then finally have to run around up and down hills in gear. But the same thing can be said for the poor folks who, they had to do the HVZ and then do a competitive tournament the next day. That seems a lot more rough than doing a competitive tournament and then doing an HVZ. So I think it's a good change. I definitely plan to do Maryland Mayhem. I definitely want to do Survival Fest. I definitely want to do Ragnar Oktoberfest. Um, I probably won't be doing Foam Fest again until 2026. I would love to get to Foam Fest 2026 though, potentially. I'm even considering doing End War again next year. I haven't done End War since 2019. And it might be
It's
time
gonna
to
be
finally
hot.
go do another End War in North Carolina. Um,
I might, depending on because with my family, we've been doing beach vacation always around the same time every year. But as the calendars change, we have to reset where something it's like you push the week we go like a few weeks up. So I think this is the week we push it, but we'll know officially in the new year when we have it. So if we're actually going to the beach after the 4th of July, then yeah, I might be able to do End War. Just be prepared to melt.
yeah, I'm prepared to die of exhaustion, but um, I will probably maybe lighten my load out a little bit. Um, we will see. It also depends on the rules.
Yeah.
Um,
I
depending on,
think
is there a point in bringing my full heavy loadout if I'm not going to be able to use it off the bat? Because
yeah.
UMBC usually has the low ammo cap to start, but that's easily enough because it's usually a 6 round, and I just run 6 round flip clips, and then when it unlocks, switch to the 22s for my FTL3. Um, we will see, but
So two things.
yeah,
First, let me just answer Dustin's question. Yes, I still make the Sling Fire Master Keys. I haven't made one in a while, but if you want one, and I think we've talked about one in the past, I will happily make one. So that isn't a problem. Back to the Maryland Mayhem layout, and I realized this the first year where you're looking at like, what are you running for? You're going to pay for it, and we're like, no, no, we'll be fine. And I remember at the end of tournament on Friday, even though we didn't play that much, but realizing I am burnt, and now we're doing an HVZ on Saturday, and that was hellacious. The one advantage, I guess, especially from our perspective, is that in the tournament, we still, I'm not going to jinx it. We do better than we always think. We never come in last. We always come out better than we do. And that's minimized running and movement. But with the Saturday being the indoor event, the convention and the 11th hour, it is very easy. And I know last year we didn't run around in it much at all because it's just an indoor facility. So it's the advantage of still being able to participate, still take it easy, be part of there without being wiped out and rest enough. And then Sunday, it's like, all right, I got the gas to do it instead of 2 days in a row. Says the guys, for those that are about to comment, is because we're old, man. And when you get old, it
yeah,
happens, which reminds me, I'm turning 50 in 8 days. In 8 days, I'm going to be 50. Holy shit. Pardon my French. Anyways,
yeah. The Ludus Games pointed out that it's worth trying the different schedule just to see if it's better or worse, because otherwise there's no way to know. Um, and if it turns
um,
out that it turns out it's horrible, and by HVZ everyone's completely exhausted and nobody wants to play, well then next year they'll probably switch it back to Saturday. But if it turns out it's definitely the better way to go and people are enjoy all of the events more because they changed it around, well then that's the way they'll keep it. And the only way to know is to try it. So, yeah, I'm all for giving it a try.
absolutely.
Cheesecake.
Yep, you get it. You know who it is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy. I look much older because I got to. I know. Thanks, buddy. Wait, Andy,
Yeah.
why are we friends
Yeah.
again?
I
Oh
usually
man.
think I'm older than I am. Though now I think I'm actually getting to the point where I look my age.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
You look like you're
I
23.
mean,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, you've also finally started coloring your beard nice and evenly.
Have I got it centered now? There were people that were
You now
complaining
have
that
it
my
centered.
beard streak wasn't centered enough. I'm like, oh, come on. Uh, I mean, why do we need to change the name to Two Grumpy or New Grumpy Old Men? That's already called Get Off My Lawn.
It's about, yeah, so we're about there.
Yeah, I'm about 90. Yeah, I've been around. I stormed the beaches at Normandy.
Well, sometimes the way our bodies feel, yeah, 90 seems appropriate.
My grandfather crawled to Berlin on his belly. He
There
wasn't
you
at
go.
Normandy though.
Oh,
Now I want cheesecake. This
I
is
can't
me.
imagine why.
Didn't have any cheesecake for Thanksgiving. I need to make sure there is cheesecake for Christmas.
I think so. I put in a special order and stuff like that.
Yeah, turkey and cheesecake.
Otherwise, someone might send you pictures of their cheesecake just to rub it in your face.
Does sound like the sort of thing certain people I know would do.
I, it is well deserved.
This is true. Still can't believe you made us walk across that parking lot.
That was funny. All right, do you want to tell the story? We can't leave people hanging.
So we were at Maryland Mayhem this year, and we
Yes.
were looking for a restaurant. Everyone was going to go to the same restaurant. We looked up where a nearby restaurant that would suit our needs, and we found it. We all pile in the SUV and drive to it. And it turns out it was literally on the far side of the parking lot that from our hotel. So it was, it was a 2-minute walk. And we're in front of the restaurant, and this mook wouldn't stop the car and let us out. He drove us back to the other end of the parking lot to the hotel and made us walk across the parking lot.
Nope. Shut up. I don't care.
They did have great root beer, though. I forgot to keep the bottle for my collection.
Oh, that's right. You know what? Considering, because we surprised them, they had no internal seating, and because it was April, they put us out in the patio. So we told everyone to show up, bring jackets.
Freezing. Yeah, it was cold, and there were
It
like
was
70 of us there, and they were not prepared for that volume, and
no.
they were still very, very upbeat about it. Who says
They
I'm
were
talking to you?
good.
I could be talking to some other mook. You don't know.
There it is. I think we'll go back again next year, but this time I will give them the heads up a month beforehand. Hey, we came
Yeah,
last year. Reserve the patio for us. We'll bring 50. Easy.
yeah. Good food.
It was.
We were like the seventh people to get there, and then 50 other people show up, and I ended up getting my food last.
Yes, we did. So much so you almost ordered a pizza to the patio.
I almost had a pizza delivered. There was a Pizza Hut not a quarter mile away at the mall. I was so tempted to have them deliver me a stuffed crust pepperoni pizza.
Oh, there we go. See, our nerve just stopped in. If you didn't catch it there, yeah, Bill, we were just talking about our adventures at the Green Turtle, where we had the patio, and it turned into what, 57 of your closest friends.
Yeah, Green Turtle.
Yep, there it is, James. Yep, yep, it was a Green
Good
Turtle.
times. Good time. Every time they came out with food, we cheered.
Yes.
They enjoyed it. They'd call a name and we'd all cheer. Just because we were amazed they hadn't called the police to have us trespassed.
Well, it was funny because the waitress first came out, and because our table was there first anyways, and she's like, so we just told everyone to be quiet. Quiet. All right, what do you got? And she'd be like, double cheeseburger, extra fries. Here, yay! Go over there. So every time she came out with food, it was like Pavlov's dog. We were all trained. Silence. All right, what do you got? What do you got? Part of it is also
Yep.
because we were all starving, and everyone's like, please let it be. Please. It was almost like bingo calling. N7. Ah, damn it.
Yeah, it was a good time. Next
Oh my
time,
God,
I
it
will
was.
definitely order pizza. Uh,
And hey, Mother's Day. It's gonna be warm. No jackets probably required.
oh, that'd be nice. What was
Yep.
the other place we went?
Oh, the it was the Persian, but not Persian. It was oh, boys, help us out.
It was a small little hole in the
The
wall
first
strip
night,
mall looking place.
which started you and Jim's
That's
discussion
where the
about food.
cheesecake feud started. Yeah,
That's right. Um, what was that called?
I don't remember, but the food was good.
Bill, Jim, do you remember what it is? Or whoever else was with us that night? Because
Was
there
it a
again,
barbecue joint?
I
No, that
think
was
it
a
was a
different
barbecue
one.
joint.
There was also
The
a
barbecue
barbecue
place.
joint.
It was, yeah.
Because I know I like after everyone else had gotten their food, I ordered more food. Like I ordered shrimp tempura or something. I
That's
know it
right,
was.
James. Yeah. Jim was still waiting on his food, and you got your second round.
Yeah. Was it a barbecue joint? Yeah, maybe it was like a Mongolian barbecue or something, Korean barbecue.
No, it wasn't a Korean barbecue, but it was a barbecue place. But it was the owners were Persian, so it was a little twist on it. But it was really good, man.
Yeah.
It was a hole in the wall, and at first they were wondering about us, but then it's turned from 5 to about 30 of us in this little joint that had seating for like 20.
12. Yeah. We were stacked up like cordwood. It started out there's like a handful of people in there just minding their own business, and then the place just got mobbed by by nerfers, and it was nuts.
And we're
Yeah,
all
he got
hungry,
his
so it's not like someone's like, I'll just get a soda. No, 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 a sandwich and that and that and that. So yeah. What do you want?
yeah. Uh,
You'll know. We'll have to ask Andrew Dart Sweep. He's the one that recommended it to us, and he didn't even make it. He got
yeah.
stuck because he was
Wasn't even
doing.
there.
They were doing what you call it. They were checking blasters, FPS.
And then didn't we end up going to two different places, like Applebee's and somewhere else?
After or that first night, you mean? Oh, that was
I
on
think it was at the
Sunday
very end.
because everyone went to Applebee's, but we went to a separate venue just because there was it was going
Reasons.
to be yeah, and it was like it didn't. It turned out well though because we got to know Eric very well because
Yeah.
we didn't really talk to him. So it was good. And it was a smaller event where not as many people showed up, and half the people that were supposed to be at that one showed up at Applebee's anyways. So we showed up at Applebee's for a little bit, then told people it's not that we don't want to be here. We're not being snobbish. We just
But we
had
got
promised
food at
previous engagements.
Applebee's, didn't we?
We ate because that was the thing. We'll eat here and then go over
Yeah,
there
we
and just do
sat at the
dessert.
bar, got our food, and left.
Yes. So we
Socialized
didn't
with
talk to
nobody.
people. No, we talked to people. We were social as much as we could be, and we
Yeah.
reluctantly left, but we said we would. And then at the other place, not everyone was there, but at the same time, we got to hang out with Charles, and then also got to know Eric the Moose pretty good.
Didn't I get cheesecake at the second place?
You did,
There was a lot of cheesecake that weekend.
yes, there
It's become a running joke.
was.
It's on vacation. I was going to eat meat and cheesecake. I was not
That's
interested
right.
in anything else.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, that's right. Jim got his food last, and he's the driver, so he just sat there. He's like, "You're not rushing me. I don't care. I'm gonna eat this at my pace, and you're all gonna love it."
yeah.
Which, granted, yep, I'll give it to him.
There is
So
no such thing as too much cheesecake.
no. Well,
That is
here's a
that is
good
a
example.
heresy, a blasphemy, and I will not stand for it.
For those of you in the chat following along, and we're not there, notice how much fun we had, and this is without a blaster and without darts. This is what makes these events, man. As much as playing is fun, it is the social aspect, the people you meet, and the fun, crazy things you do on the adventure together for the weekend. So if all else, like my first event, I like, let's face it, I am not that good at what I do, but in terms of playing, but I love going for the social aspect of it. So this is why I come out to it.
I'm there to shoot people. I don't know what I was talking about. I hate people.
That's
People are the
right.
worst.
Especially if you like sitting in a jacket, freezing your butt off in a patio, hoping you get food 2 hours later. It is the place to
Should have
be.
ordered the pizza.
That's right.
My one regret. Uh,
Thirsty for foam.
Email
Good
me a
point.
cheesecake. You'd think by now, at this point in my life, loving cheesecake as much as I have, I would have developed my own cheesecake recipe and learned to make it the way I want it. Because I made the horrible mistake of having cheesecake in New York City at a restaurant that was just desserts. All they sold was desserts. It was a dessert restaurant. And so I got the perfect New York cheesecake. That was the best cheesecake I've ever had in my life. And it has unfortunately ruined every other cheesecake since because they're never quite as good as that New York cheesecake in New York. So if you ever have the opportunity to go to New York and have cheesecake, don't do it.
It'll ruin you for life.
It'll ruin you. It's like I went to Italy and had Italian food, and now I have to try to choke down Italian food in America, and it's just tragic. Like your noodles are overcooked, your sauce is runny, and your meatballs have no spice. What is this? What are you doing to me? You call this mozzarella? You know.
New York bagels. New York bagels is another thing, man.
That'll do it to you?
After New York bagels, man, they're just, it's like, yeah, whatever, New York bagels. And then, yeah, sausage, egg, and cheese, New York bagel. And then I go home and get one. I'm like, damn it, now it's just eternal sadness. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah.
See, it's New York bagels. I don't know what it is. They are water, whatever it is. And that's the thing. It's got to be the water. And sometimes you find like hole in the wall bagel shops, and it's literally a hole in the wall. Yet there's a line about the door, and you know it's got to be good. Bagels, man. Bagels. We actually when where did we stop to eat? Was it a Red Lobster?
I think
When
so.
I came out, when me and Hixie came out,
Yeah.
and you had
We had
cheesecake there
all you can eat shrimp.
and cheesecake.
Yeah.
Montreal bagels are a thing, really? The French, the Québécois? I guess so. I've only been to Montreal twice. I never had a bagel, so I'll have you on the list of things to try.
I guess.
Montreal is a nice place, except in the winter. It is dark at like 4, and it's freezing. There it is. He'll drive us to Montreal.
I've got my passport. That's one of the places I want to go. Go up to Canada, fling some foam.
We'll see if next year brings it. No promises, but we'll see if the opportunity comes up. And we'll make it work.
Yeah. You guys keep coming out here. You'd think it'd be my turn to go up there.
Well, you come. Yeah, true. Well, you cheat. You come down to my place and get kind of close because it's sort of the eastern seaboard.
Yeah. Close I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagels, poutine, and smoked meat. Yeah, see? Exactly. Exactly.
I haven't been to Canada a few times. I went when I was very young. We went to the Edmonton Mall.
West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah. My father took me and my younger brother. He was going to a medical conference, so he'd leave us at the mall at the tender ages of like 7 and 10. With a $20 bill in which is the best of luck. I'll be back in 8 hours.
Did you guys ever become part of the mall rats? West Edmonton Mall, I don't know about now, it's been years, but they had a huge problem with mall rats, like runaways that lived in the mall, but the place was so big, they evaded capture and lived in the mall.
Are we talking about actual rats?
No, people, like kids.
People. Well,
yeah. Runaways.
No. I did get to play laser tag for the first time in my life there, though, and that was fun. And then I went back a couple of times back when I did medieval recreation. I invaded Canada a couple of times and went to war with the Canadians and won.
Canadians were too nice, that's why. Sorry, I got to kill you.
Get around to putting those Valkyrie motors in a Valkyrie bullpup. I don't think so. No, I still haven't upgraded that Valkyrie. I need to. It's in the pile.
In the list. On the list, man. On the list.
It's an endless list.
Montreal definitely has a European vibe. That's for sure.
And
St. Catherine Street has a red light district feel too.
So and speak in complete sentences? Is that?
Allegedly.
As compared to the rest of Canada.
What? So what are everyone's Christmas in the it is in the pile, Andy. It is. What is everyone's Christmas plans?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing for Christmas? Are you visiting family? Are you staying home? I will probably be staying home. I've done as little travel as possible this year. Uh, eventually, I think it might be on the wall actually under Al the Geeks long shot he sent me
Oh yeah.
back before we knew each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. One of these days, I'll get around to shoving an upgrade kit into that long shot. Pretty sure I've got one in a bin somewhere.
What if we dropped a what if we made it a flywheeler?
Yeah. That would be fun.
That would be.
No plans. What about the rest of you? What are you all doing? What are you doing for Christmas?
I am local because here Christmas is at my house, and it's all so it's myself, my wife, my in-laws, but then also friends of mine that become like family. So there's always a core 9 and always a potential for like 14 because we always have open invitations to other people. So that's always at my house at Christmas. But then I always try to make it out to Canada to see my folks. So it might be the weekend before or it might be after. Problem is because my knee's been acting up, I don't know if I can sit in a car for 8.5 hours to make the drive. So I might fly out. Either way, I will figure it out because I even noticed now. Side note: I tweaked my knee, and I'm pretty sure it's my meniscus on the left leg. Not torn, but frayed up enough where it's screaming at me. But anyways, yeah, it's I will figure it out. So I will be going to Canada at some point, and I'll let the Canadians know that I'm coming. Actually, it's funny. Hixie was supposed to be back again in this area this coming weekend because he has friends up in Beemore, I think it is, Baltimore. But plans have changed, so he's not coming down. But I think he'll be back again for the new year. So I'll see him again. Because I still got his stuff that you sent me. So now it's will he make it here or will I make it there? With
Eventually, he'll get his stuff.
Eventually, he'll get his stuff. I'm actually staring at it right now. I can see it. It's in a neat pile over there, and I have it for him.
Cool.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll be traveling to visit family. I'm not planning to because, like I said, I've done as little travel this year as humanly possible. But my sister and her wife now live on my property. They managed to escape Idaho before it was too late. Moved their tiny home here, so my compound has grown. There are now 8 buildings on the property. So it'll probably be us for sure, eating good food, playing board games, card games.
By the way, also to promote
Bringing back a moose,
a real one, and not the plastic one. But yeah, your sister and her partner make some really cool things, man.
They do.
They make some cool stuff.
Leora makes stuff out of stone.
Yeah.
She makes like stone knives. We all do the cooking. Depends on what's being cooked.
Yep. Cap can cook.
I can. Mostly breakfast.
Yes, you can.
Breakfast is my forte.
Yes. Although your roast buff is good, man.
Well, I'll make a good buff.
You make a good buff.
I do have a buff in the freezer.
Oh, is that a Sunday buff or an emergency buff?
Usually it's going to be a Friday buff, so I'll start cooking it on Thursday and then eat it on Friday.
There it is.
Unfortunately, I need to rework the recipe because the gravy mixes that I use currently may contain milk byproduct. And Leora's partner is lactose intolerant, so I either need to prove or disprove that it does or does not have milk, or find dairy-free alternatives.
True.
Yes, sometimes the breakfast is cooked at 1 in the afternoon. Breakfast is whenever you have your first meal of the day.
Well, Ludus Games, if you want to believe it or not, then you make your way out to Washington State. Be nice enough where he actually let you in the house, and he might make you breakfast.
Who are we talking about? What? Who's lying? What?
Cheesecake Man, Jim.
No, believe me. Prove it. I ain't cooking you nothing. If you come here, you will get a stale donut if I'm feeling generous.
He'll make you cook.
Al over here will get the bacon, egg, and double Tillamook cheese sandwich. You will get a stale donut. I will buy the donut now and keep it for whenever you get here.
And hope the swamp cat doesn't find it first.
Oh, no, hopefully she does. It'll still be saved.
That's funny.
You know, I don't know that I've ever had moose meat.
I think I have.
I've had kangaroo.
I've had
I've
kangaroo.
had crocodile. And I've had elk. And I've had bear.
Yeah.
Lots of deer. I've had bison.
Yeah.
I've had rattlesnake.
Yeah. The kangaroo was, it's like anything. As long as someone knows how to prepare it, it can be great. And
Yeah,
like I had kangaroo. Yeah, I had kangaroo, and it was a great steak. I just think the cut was too big. Like 2/3 into it, I had enough of it.
Right. I think it was kangaroo jerky is what I had. And I think it was Judd who brought it.
Of course it was.
And then I got or maybe it was alligator, wherever it was. I think it came from Dr. Pugh. Picked something up, weird stuff up when he was in Louisiana, where he got to have his first experience as a celebrity. And he wasn't quite prepared for it because he went to the Nerfed with the folks in Louisiana, the Louisiana Nerf Club, and they knew who he was from my YouTube channel. So he walks up to their just standard weekend event, not expecting anything interesting, and they all recognized him. We're like, Dr. Pugh, what are you doing? He's like, how do you know who I am? Like, you're in the crew. You're on Captain Xavier's channel. We know you. It's like how'd it feel? It felt cool. Like, yeah.
He's a creative man. He's a nice
like
man too.
Fish pig. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Yep.
Clowney's here. Why didn't we have him as a guest?
I don't know. We should have him.
I mean, X-Fox was able to show up for the stream, but he couldn't be on the stream. Just go kick his door in. He's 15 minutes. Oh, we don't have time.
We don't have time. However, Clowney, man, in January, brother, we'll touch base and schedule Clowney for sometime in January, early February.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is also part of the plan, is that we're lucky enough that we have enough friends and people that we can last minute ask people and they show up. Where next year we realized we should actually set a calendar. Thank you, Andrew, aka Dart Sweep.
What, schedule people before the day before, trying to hunt people? Hey, are you free tomorrow?
And he's pushed that idea as scheduling because it's a good idea. That way we can also properly advertise and let people know when people are here.
Who's going to be on the stream? Why is it
2 hours before?
Time?
And yeah.
Is it just going to be these two putzes whinging for 2 hours? Or are we going to have someone interesting on the show?
Like a Clowny Nerf. So next year, part of the again, this is part of what's happening in the rest of the month of December is really a push for what we're doing next year, and that is one thing. Definitely actual scheduling it out. That way, it's easy to let you all know, promote it, and then the proper coverage, especially for some of the great people that we have in the hobby, and for what we do. And there'll be days where it's just going to be me and Cap going, we're feeling antisocial. We just want to complain about stuff.
We don't want to talk to anybody.
That's right. We're barely talking to each other, so I don't know about the rest of you people. That's right. We also hope to next year have more call-in times. It's scheduling. Like I said, part of the reason why Foam's Giving was canceled is because the man behind the curtain that runs that and is necessary for that is just not available. Not because he doesn't want to be. We all have obligations and family and things. Isn't. Yeah.
Why you don't want to come here next year? Next year, this place is going to be an absolute hellscape. Perhaps we can sneak out to Australia and then overstay our visa.
Yes.
by about 4 years.
Oops. I just couldn't find the airport.
Well, we got lost in the outback.
We did. But first week of January, we will be back. It will be Captain Xavier and myself. Because Andrew keeps saying, they know who you are. No one knows who I am. I'm like, would you shut up? Everyone knows who you are. But anyways, it'll be myself and Captain Xavier in January. And we'll be kicking off, and hopefully we'll have the plan together in terms of what we're hoping for. And at the same time, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, our goal is to overhaul the website. We need to get that up and running. It's not because we don't want to do it. Like we've always said, we make no money on this. We do this because we believe in what we're doing. We enjoy what we're doing, and we know that you all do. Why? Because this hobby is community first, and that's why we do what we do. So we have to figure out a way, and we will, where it's the hamster wheels are running hard in our brains to get our website up and running and deliver what it is we're talking about. It's not that that idea has changed. It's just find the resources to therefore deliver on what we want to do to bring that to you. So our focus is to get that back up and running. Again, Foam's Given this year was postponed just because we did not have the manpower or time to get it up and running. And then it's like, what time and manpower we do have, let's put it back on the website and getting that back up to it. And then there will probably be some kind of charity event in the new year or something associated with that. As we know, we will keep you posted. In the meantime, now though, the Joy of Socks, the one that Containment Crew does, it is up and running. It is full. We've all donated stuff to it, and we actually may do a live stream associated with that as well. Again, no details on that. I don't want to keep promising you things that don't happen. It's like, shut up, pal. I'm not listening to you anymore. You lie. You lie. But
You are, in
Containment
fact,
Crew
a
is
lying
up.
liar who lies.
That's right.
Just a
I
horrible
try.
person, an absolute
I'm,
knee biter.
I'm trying to stand. I just lie. No. So definitely go over there. I like, for example, Cap has donated a crush. I have donated 2 painted seagulls. They are yellow. They look like things that I make, and I will sign them. I don't know why, but they told me to, so I will. That way, there's no
Yeah,
question
should
that you got them from me.
probably
Yes,
sign mine. Just throw an X on there somewhere.
I think you should. I think that makes sense. Um, it's been a great year as always. We love the support we get from everybody, and we honestly do love doing this show. It is so much fun. It is a great way of interacting with everybody. It is a great way to hear what you're saying, to get ideas, to get thoughts out in the community, into your lives, into what you find every day. It's great for us to give you ideas, but at the same time, it's amazing how many ideas we get from all you at the same time.
Oh yeah.
This is almost like a microcosm of what happens when we get together in events. What makes events so much fun? The foam flinging is great, but it's also the social connection. It's talking to everybody, it's meeting people, it's seeing people actually who they are. As you notice, Captain Xavier, he is a persona on YouTube, but at the same time, he's not that much different in person.
Yeah, it's interesting to see which people are just who they are on YouTube and who have definitely put on characters.
Yeah.
The vast majority in the Nerf community, at least, they're just who they are. That's what I found, which is very refreshing.
I thought about doing a character, and then I'm getting old and forgetting stuff, and I think if I try to
You just
create a
end up
character
dropping
now,
it, and everyone will be very confused.
it was because I'd be confused as to who I'm supposed to be.
I
So I
don't know.
just went
I've
with,
lost the accent.
that's right. I'm just gonna be this guy, and away we go.
Yeah.
But as always, if you have any ideas for what we're doing, any suggestions, we always take suggestions and ideas. And just because we don't do them doesn't mean we didn't listen to them or that we think it's dumb. It's just you can't always do everything. But at the same time, you also get some great ideas from people. For example,
Many
we're
of my
now
most popular videos are the result of comments I got on other videos. Oh, you should do this. Well, apparently, I should do that, and then I did it, and then it got 1,000,000 views. You're like, oh, yeah, that was what I
yeah.
should have done.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? What's up with that, people? Come on, man.
All right, what else do I clearly need to be doing?
Someone please tell me. Because we don't know what we're doing. This is just crazy. I'm starting to wonder. So here's a question. Do we change our timing? Because we started 8, go to 10, but we seem to get more people after 9. Do we move our thing from like 9 till 10:30 Eastern Standard Time?
wouldn't bother me because I'm Pacific time, so that would be later in the evening for me, which would work better for me.
This is true. That's something that actually let. So, what do y'all think? What if we pushed it later? If we did it like 9 till 11, or eight
What about
thirty to
people that have
10:30?
work or school?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that
What
happy
about them?
mix. Then again, it could be people that most of these people might be in bed already, and now they're scrolling till they pass out. It's on us to be boring
That's
enough
it.
so that these people get a good night rest.
Yeah, there we go.
There, how about that?
We can do, we'll start it later, but we'll do the entire second half as ASMR. We'll talk in a very gentle tone, and we won't say anything too alarming, and you can go to sleep listening to the sound of my voice. This is Captain Xavier, now the geek, asking you to get off our lawn.
And then once in a while, Nerf. So now what we're talking about next is Mega XL.
Remember, children, take your hits. Not taking your hits is lying, and lying is wrong.
You will be punished.
Don't let anyone tell you that your mods are not good enough. Your mods are good enough for you. They're good enough for everyone.
Maybe we take a different approach, which we're better at. Instead of being polite and things like that, sometimes people need to be told what to do. So this is what we do. Dude, what are you doing? Go to bed. Shut up. Close your eyes.
No.
Sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
This is even better. We say the mean things, but in the calm tone. You should be in bed, you wretched little ingrate. You're up past your bedtime. You're going to fail everything at life now because you're going to be too sleepy because you were listening to the old bearded men. I don't think I could pull that off.
No. Well, I could go fully mean. We are not your friends.
We don't
Go
like
to
you.
sleep. Subscribe. Hit the like button.
And then get out of here.
And then get out of here. But don't.
Hey, you don't know, Dustin.
Check
I'm
the
old enough.
paternity
I could be.
Just don't answer the phone on Father's Day. Oh, this is awesome. Do you have any final comments or thoughts for this year?
Final thoughts for this year. Well, I got to go to my first convention. That was a lot of fun. It had to be in Denver where you can't breathe, but it was a blast. I did not get to meet Adam Savage. Terribly sad about that.
One of these times.
It's a shame. But got to teach a lot of people how to fling foam and got recognized by a few people. Got to meet a Lego celebrity while I was there. That was cool.
That's right.
I got some stuff from him. That's always super cool. And like I said, I do plan to do a lot more travel next year. Took this year off from travel. The only thing I went to was Mayhem. So hopefully my travel budget has recovered and I can start going to more events again. That'll be a lot of fun. And yeah. May finally tweak my HVZ loadout. I haven't changed my loadout since I built it back in 2019, I think. Is when I finally got all the blasters that I currently have, and nobody's come out with anything better since. There's been a lot of really cool blasters, but none that were good enough to replace what I had.
Yep.
I do have some big things I want to build. I got that really cool backpack that we picked up while thrifting. That apparently is a very expensive, high quality hiking backpack, and I'm gonna shove a proton pack in there. The largest tank I can get in that thing is what's going in it. I would love to get, a 3,000-4,000 round tank. I just need to find the right container.
Yeah.
Like a 20-gallon drum or something.
Then you need a Squire. to
Oh
pull
yeah,
it or
yeah,
pull
yeah.
it
No, I
behind you.
definitely need. I need a rocket squire. Well, that's the thing that one of the things that I'm really tempted to do is have a contest or something that allows people to get the opportunity to be my squire at a big event, you know,
I think
and
that'd be
then
cool.
go to like Maryland Mayhem and run my rocket loadout. Um, because I'd need a squire to do that. Or, personally, I think HVZ should be 120. 150, getting shot by a blaster is hitting 150 at point blank range for 6 hours straight isn't fun. And then you start getting zombies who quit playing because they're not having fun anymore. And then you
Yeah.
don't have any zombies. And then it's just a bunch of old people walking around campus with Nerf blasters.
Yeah.
Um, Remember, it's about having fun. And HVZ, again, the target comes to you. You don't need the range of a blaster that hits 150. The target is going to be a foot from you. You could have
You
it
need
stock
patience and
only and
discipline.
it would still work. There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with stock only HVZ. Get good, scrub. Um, but yeah,
What was I gonna
I'm
say?
sure there would be
Something.
people that would be interested in playing my Squire at events. Just
Oh,
helping me put on my vest and carrying my extra ammo for me.
and I think at the
Um,
same token, like obviously they just by winning that'll be great, but to really drive it, you customize a Strifer personal blaster,
oh
customized
yeah,
for
no,
Captain
they'd
Xavier.
be. Well, that is the responsibility of a knight to their squire is to provide them
Yeah,
with equipment. So
there you go.
I would bring a loadout for you. Um,
There you go, dude. That'd be huge. I think that'd be great.
oh yeah, I think it'd be loads of fun depending on how many events I went to. I've got bins full of strifes. It would not be hard for me to build a good HVZ strife for somebody. Um, all right, here's your blaster. Let's
Yep.
do this.
Just hold my rockets.
Uh,
Don't lose them.
yeah, I'm gonna need them rockets.
That's right.
Bring my
That's awesome.
self-loading Titan rocket, right? Self-reloading Titan
Oh my God.
and a
Yes.
proton pack. And that's why I'd need the Squire. Is the Squire would have the rocket backpack so that I could have my proton pack with my bazooka.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. All right. I think
The
on that
time has
note,
come.
the time has come. Ladies
It
and
is
gentlemen,
now
thank you
after
for
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
or we do it. The time is 10:01. This show is coming to an end.
Better yet, give them a pair of Mavericks to clack together
That's right.
instead of coconuts. Just two halves of a broken Maverick shell.
The ubiquitous Mavericks.
And
Oh,
get
that's
myself a
awesome.
hobby horse and mount a proton
Yes.
pack too.
Yes. I think that should be in one of your sub channels. Can I mount a proton pack too?
I need to get a vehicle. It's a shame that the
Golf cart?
golf cart's dead at the moment. I need to either get that repaired or replaced.
Yeah.
I could
think
check
so.
like local. I could probably get a go-kart for cheap enough.
Yes.
And then mount a proton pack turret to it.
Yes. With some kind of mortar set up on the back that you hit a button
there you
and
go.
then you get the shoots like yep.
Titan rocket
Yes.
launcher,
Yep.
mortar, and a proton pack turret.
Yep. Yes,
All
please.
right. Well, the time has come. It is after 7.
It is, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you all for another great season, another great year. We loved having you all out here. We love doing this, and there will be more from us as always. We hope to see you at events. Events have been listed. Let us know if you can make it or not. But otherwise, if not, do not worry. We will still be here every other Wednesday. We will still be doing our thing. We have big plans and hopes for next year, and we're going to try to execute it and make that happen. This will happen. And it sometimes takes time, unless suddenly magically someone gives us a, a boatload of money, then we can pay for a lot of things and make it happen instantly. However, in the meantime, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, or peaceful
Joyous
nothingness,
Yule.
joyous Yule, or whatever it is this month you want to do best. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy what you do. I hope you guys all have a great year as always. On the socials, we'll still be posting things, but we look forward to another year, another great fun, joyous stuff thing, whatever. We will be back the first week of January. We will have a new list of what we're doing. In the meantime, like we've mentioned, Containment Crew, the Corbett charity, the Go Slow Taco, the Joy of Socks charity drive. Go over there. Be sure to contribute. You're going to win a lot of cool things, and we're probably going to add things to it as well. Happy holidays, everyone. Much love to you all. Stay safe. And from both
Get
of
off
us,
my lawn.
get off my lawn.